wow. In the first year, the men and women started to become a team together, and I think spring break was a big part of that. Traveling together was huge for the men and women's crews because we didn't practice together, to be together and go on those trips. And probably one of the things that sticks out in my mind is running the exorcist steps.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Splitting off into ports and starboards, not guys and women, ports and starboards. And the guys are cheering for the starboards. They don't care whether it's a woman or a guy. And the ports are cheering for the ports, and that really helped bring the club together because you realize everybody's a rower.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, we had a tragic event occur. After the end of after the end of that rowing season, the weekend of graduation, the women decided to go on to row another race because we hadn't had many races because there frankly weren't a lot of women's crews then. And so Clete Graham, who was our coach, talked us into finding out who could stay and go to row in Wichita, Kansas. So we had several people volunteer, and we ended up with a 4 women who decided to go to Wichita, Kansas. On the way to Wichita, we were in a tragic accident, and 2 of the women died in the accident. Bonnie Burton and Beth Story. And when we came back in the fall, the team came together, had a memorial mass as the first mass of the fall, and christened 2 boats that previously had no name. They were number 1 and number 2 shell, became the Bonnie Burton and the Elizabeth Story. And that sealed the deal for us, bringing the team together. So let's go from that. Let's go to good things. Let's go to legacy. The very first, we have, I don't know how many people we have from that very first fall. I think we've got 5 or 6 women from that very first team in the fall. Who's here? Could you stand up? We got a couple of people back there. Marilyn, Jane Lammers, Mary Spalding, Marilyn Crimmins. There were some other people here earlier, but I think they've left. Oh, Jewel Weatherby. Jane went on to start the tennis team and became a monogram winner with the tennis team. The next spring, those who survived the rock workouts,
the wall sits,
went on to and wall sits. We had two 8s by the spring. We ended up with a heavyweight 8 that actually had 2 lightweights in it, and a lightweight 8. And the lightweight 8 won the Midwest Sprints that year. First year women's won the Midwest Sprints. Next year, the lightweight 8 came back and won the Midwest Sprints the second time. The following year, the lightweight 8 went to the Eastern Sprints and finished second, beating Radcliffe, Yale, Cornell, and losing only to Boston University, who went on to win the national championship that year. In the Boston University boat was Kathy Comerford, who had rowed at Notre Dame in the lightweight boat the prior year and had transferred to BU. And they were coached by Gavin Viano, who had been the men's coach here the prior year. Then in '77, the women won the Mid-America Collegiate Rowing Association Championship. Left something out. Oh, '75, when we won the Eastern Sprints, or the Midwest Sprints for the second time, we also we stayed together for an extra 3 weeks after school was out and practiced twice a day. We went to the Mid-Atlantic Regionals for what was then the National Women's Rowing Association, oversaw all of women's rowing, went to the Mid-Atlantic Regionals, won the Mid-Atlantic Regionals there. And then Mary Fitzsimmons and I stayed in Philadelphia and rowed for Vesper Boat Club and went to the Nationals, and Vesper Boat Club won the national championship that year. And then I coached for 2 years after that. I had a second place lightweight crew at the Midwest Sprints, and then I talked everybody into staying together, and we went to the Nationals, the NWRA Nationals in Detroit, and finished, would you say 7?
I think 7.
I think, but 7.
I love it.
And then I left, and Jill took over coaching for 4 years?
4 years. And then I admit after that
94 season and up until the 97 season, we're working to fill in the gaps of the people, the women who contributed. With the guys, there's the continuity, but with the women, it kind of got broken. We're going to try to restore that, and future alumni rows have more of that legacy and bring the women into it as well. So that's what we're hoping to do. And thank you all for coming and the club for hosting.
Thank you.